Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a good day. I've been having a blast. This is so ridiculous. Drawing these little cute little kind of creepy monsters, and I've done like 2 videos on the ones I've drawn, and I have a couple more I want to do. But I thought I'd give you a break today because I just could sit here mindlessly. I've been having the worst few weeks, and now my RA is affecting my right side of my face and like my gums and my like jaw, and I look like a monster. I feel like a monster. Everything hurts and it's like going down my body. So I've been like wanting to create, but not like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I just kind of want to play. So those are why I've obsessively been putting up these little cute little things I've been drawing, and I've been giving them to my daughter, who I'm sure she's thrilled to death with. I'm like, here, look at this cute little thing I drew. So, for all of you who are watching them and liking them and all, thank you very much. It's my way of keeping myself sane. So I thought, to keep you a little sane today, I'm gonna do something, show you guys the Creative Paperclay dry, and where we're at with it, and what, you know, we can do. So, number one, this was I made the owl out of. And what I had done was, when I was done with the owl, like after I had done the video, I kind of made it into a ball because I'm going to use it as a middle of something, as a head, if that makes sense. This is so light, it's like a ping pong ball. Remember, we put foil inside as the ball and then covered it. And then, I don't know why I pinched, I don't know what I did. But anyway, I'm going to use this as the middle of something else that I'm going to make. So, as you can see, it's dry. It's very light. It's very sandable. So if you have sanding paper, an emery board, a roto zipper thingamajig, whatever, you can definitely sand it so it's smooth. I would do it outside. Don't do it like I do in here. Some people probably, I mean, I would suggest for you to wear one of those mask things over your face so you don't breathe in all the powder and whatnot. But like I said, you know, it's very sandable. I do want to show you that you can tell where I had it sitting, which is right there, and you can see it's a little damp there still. So, and I had it sitting on a metal, my metal stand thing for whatever reason, I wasn't thinking. But you can see the difference of when it's wet still. It's just a little damp. You can't like really move it or dig into it or anything. If I leave it like this for a couple hours, it'll dry. But the rest of it's definitely dry. And you can hear, I mean, it's very lightweight, which makes it great for sculpting because, you know, we have the foil inside. You can make your face or make little creatures, make whatever you want, and it's very lightweight. So you're not, if you want to make a pendant or earrings or whatever, it's really great looking. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like me looking at this right now, I'm like, oh, I can make that into a creepy pumpkin kind of looking thing. But I don't know. I was going to use this in the middle of something, but then again, with me, who knows? Okay, so that's that one. And like I said, again, you can see where it's still a little damp, so I'll put that part up, and in no time, that'll be where it's dry. And actually, I made it flat there, and that's why I had it sitting. So if I have it sitting for what I want to do, that's the flat part, so it won't roll anywhere, if that makes sense. Now, the second thing I made, which I also laid on the metal thing and then saw that I laid it like kind of crooked. Please don't ask. It's because I have so much stuff here and I did start cleaning it off, but anyway, it kind of dried a little wonky, which it won't if you do it the right way. This is the Creative Paperclay that we did the stamp in. And if we clear out, there we go. And I'm going to show you a little paint on there and how fun this can be in a second. And this is completely dry. And I didn't flatten out the back or do anything, you know, like if you were making this a jewelry piece or something like that, you obviously want to make sure this is flat. You're going to take your time and, you know, do it. Like I said, this was just to show you, and I'm going to show you something really cool on this. But like I said, if you would have poked a hole in it before you draw or even after, because it's so lightweight, it's like a potato chip, like one of the bigger potato chips in the bag you get excited about when you get. That's kind of like curly. But, you know, you can even poke a hole in it after. Take a little nail or your little drill or whatever. They have those cool drills that you can buy that are like the crank ones that you don't have to buy an electric one, which are really cool. So, again, this is just a stamp that I stamped in it. You can do whatever you want. You can write in it, stamp in it, whatever you want. But it comes out really cool. It dries great. And it's awesome. This, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that in a minute. Blech. This is the molding paste we made. And look how cool. And I'm going to paint on this because I'm making this a background. Probably be another giveaway down the road. And then this is the second one we did. And it's completely dry. And you can see I'm bending the cardboard and it's not cracking or anything. Very cool. So that's that. And then we have the Reconstituted clay. And this is the air, what was it called? It's not the regular paper clay. It's the, what is it called now that I'm, Delight. The Delight, which is the wicked, wicked light clay. I remember it was hard as a block. It looked like kind of like cream cheesy. So I can feel there's a little teeny lump left in there. And I just have to, and what I've done over the past couple of days is when I'm down here, I kind of put it down and smush and smush. And I added water. I had to add a little bit more water because it did absorb some. But what I did notice is, like now it looks like very watery, and that's because I did put a little bit more water in. It'll be the last thing of water because there was a lump in there that needed, but you could tell it's pretty much all. But here's this lump. If I leave it, like if I don't put any more water in it and I just leave it in here, and it's all, look how soft, and I've reconstituted it, it does absorb the water and go back to its original kind of fluffiness. So we're going to see what we can do with this. This will be another video. But I'm done putting the water in. It's all, you know, now maybe we'll use this as a molding paste, or maybe it'll go back to a great consistency for the clay. So we will see. But the great thing is, and this is one of the things I do, what I do on the YouTube for people like us who are limited on their money. And, you know, when you find that your clay, now polymer clay isn't the same thing, but your air dry clay, when it dries out, like mine did, and you saw in the other video, it was like marshmallow hardness. Well, marshmallows aren't really hard, but you dig what I'm saying. Although I do enjoy the hard marshmallows when they get like kind of hard. Like I really don't like Peeps, but I like Peeps if they're left open for a few days and then you have a Peep. But that's a whole other conversation also. And I said Peeps, not pee. I'm not one of them people who like to be peed on. Yeah. So you know, we don't have a lot of money, and you know, it's saddening when you go to get a craft item that you have and you're like, oh my God, like it's dry and what do I do? So this is what we've done so far. And next, like I said, in the next video or two, I'm going to leave a little bit of the air out of here. Excuse me. We will then see, because like I can feel like little lumps left, not many at all. It's basically like very smooth, like a pizza dough. So I don't want all this air in here now. Get out, little air. Just get out. Okay. See? So I'm just gonna leave it sit a couple more days, and then, or another day or so, and then do a video, and then we will see how that works out. Okay. My God, excuse me. I'm choky. Okay, so first, let's do this little bad boy. Now, this could be anything that you made. This could be if you're doing, like I'll use this on a mixed media piece, or You know, obviously I'm not going to use this for an earring or a necklace pendant or anything because I didn't draw it flat and everything. Because I didn't pay attention. I laid it down and la 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 la. What does Kelly do? That's what Kelly does. So what we're going to do is we are going to take, what are we going to do first? I want it kind of antique-y. I'm going to take a little red and I'm just going to ploop a little red on there. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to paint over it, not worrying about getting in the boopies, in the little holes. Look how nice it paints. I've made quite a few different figures and whatnot with this. And we're just gonna do like that. What fun. And then we'll just give that a second. You know what, while I'm gonna set this aside to dry for a second, what I am gonna do is show you how this works on this. Let's bring it down a minute. Okay. And you can see as I'm putting it on the texture. And I'm just going to wet this slightly to spread the paint a little bit more. You don't want it too wet. I need a little bit more paint. The other one I'm going to show you with markers and other things, but let's just... And look how cool. You make your own texture, your own molding paste. I wet the brush just to carry on more of the color, so I don't have to get more paint. No big deal. And then if you want to be, if you want to wipe some of it off because you want some of the texture to come, some of the white to come through, or if you want to do another color over the red, you can do that, but you can make like a whatever you want. And then let's see how well you can see. You could see it lifted off, like it's textured. And it feels textured. And then we had some texture here. Might as well start my background while I'm doing it. What color background do I want? Yeah, let's do a little periwinkle or whatever this color. I'll just give it a little squirt while we're adding some. Not worrying about cleaning off my brush too much. But just so you guys can see that you can paint over it, no problem. Then if you want to lightly go over these so it drags over the, you could see it dragging over. I always go all different ways so it catches. And then my hand's in the way. But I always like to go very light-handed with a little bit of paint on there because it does drag. And you see how it caught on some of those? It just gives it a really cool look. And then say like on this, we want to spray a little bit of water. Because maybe we don't want it to be. Oh my goodness, I'm getting left with my last paper towel. Oh, the horror. And you just spray it and kind of lift it up and you get texture from your paper towel, as you see. And I'll bring that up closer. And you leave that dry, and then that gives you some texture too. I know. Am I the only psycho who goes into the Walmart or wherever, Target, wherever you buy your paper towels? Am I the only psycho who looks, I probably am, at the little design on there? Because I'm thinking, because it's like a quilted design somewhat, if you look at it, and I'm thinking, oh, the marks that'll make on my paintings. So I think it's Bounty Basics. I get it at Lowe's in like a, I don't know, 5 or 8 pack or whatever it is. And then you get cute little extra designs there. But look how good that looks. Now, of course, I'm going to end up covering all this. But now, before I start the other one, I'm going to take my little piece right here. And I'm going to wipe it to get whatever parts aren't dry. Because I want it to kind of look old. And I want it to dry. And even as you wipe it, you can still see the white underneath does. See, I'm colorblind, so my red is always looking odd. My daughter's always yelling at me. But the white underneath will still stay pink. So you can dab at it if you accidentally get some of it off. Take a little bit of paint out of your thing that you used, you know, your paint jar, paint bottle. And then I'm just going to leave that sit just for a little bit longer. And I'm going to do something else on there. But let's do this piece. Shall we? Yes. Oh, my head just dropped right in my paint. Or my faux head, shall I say. Okay. There we are. Move a bit closer. Okay. So we can see, and when you feel it, can you hear that? Like it's smooth, watch. And then you can hear the bumps. It's like a, gosh, you know what would be cool is making this like a, doing this and making it a, like a stone driveway up to a house and do a mixed media. Okay, anyway, my thoughts. All right, so I'm going to try first with just regular colored pencil. Any colored pencil you have. Crayola, Prismacolor, Rose Art, whatever you have works. And let's see how this colors it. Because I want to show you different techniques. And this does a dang good job. It's also kind of sharpening my pencil, which is always good. Okay, so you can use colored pencil. There's a point to this, believe me. I don't exactly know what it is yet, but I'll tell you. This is just a magic marker, permanent magic marker, Sharpie, whatever you have. This colors it fantastically. This is very therapeutic because you're going through. And coloring them. So I just want to give you different options on how to color, you know, if you do choose to do this, if you have Paperclay, or on my blog, knittingandthings.com, I give you a recipe to make your own Paperclay. And I'll put my blog at the end of the video, so you can go there. But yeah, then you can make your own Paperclay and do your own thing. So that's just regular. Now these are both, obviously they're both permanent. So they're not going to run, they're not going to, it has a little bit of blue still on it. It's not going to go like a watercolor. So let's try a watercolor one. Let me find one. Watercolor. All right, here we go. I had them right where I put them. Not really. Okay. So, we shall choose a watercolor color from our Crayola washable watercolors, which you know I say you don't have to have all the expensive stuff if you don't have the money. Or if you have the money and you just don't want to buy the expensive stuff, don't buy it. Let's do a little orange. I must not have rinsed my brush enough, but you'll get the point. It's like a rusty brown, like we're doing leaves, but it's orange really. I just didn't rinse my brush good enough or my water needs cleaned. But you can see that does it perfectly. So your Crayola watercolors, go over it. Perfect. Perfect, I tell you. And let's do our Reeves watercolor pencils, which would be any pencil, any watercolor pencil you have. Let's find one with a good point. Don't exactly know the color of this. The only thing about Reeves is they don't tell you the color, which sometimes makes me upset when I'm trying to explain things. So again, we're just going to paint on, or color on rather. Coloring. And we're coloring. 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 I know, it's, you just can't believe, right? We were coloring. And watch. Look how great it works. This is creative paper clay made into molding paste. What? That we are coloring with permanent markers, with colored pencils, with watercolor pencils. Say what? Mm-hmm. I know. You're like, what else, Cal? What else? Wow, what else can we do? Sitting here thinking, what else do I have that we can try? Of course, you know, we can use Crayola markers, which I'll do right now. This is just my, I mean, these are Rose Art ones, but you can use Crayola. They're the same thing. Let's go in, shall we? Now, I will tell you with these, it does kind of rip up the felt tip a bit. And it didn't with my Pro marker or my Sharpie, but it is with this a little bit. So that's something to be concerned with if you're a concerned person like that, which you very well might be. I don't know. But let's see on this, because now I'm looking at this up here. Wonder if I just lightly go over with my green, like so it picks up more color. Yeah, that wasn't a great idea. I think you all understood where my mind was going with that. Let's see if we can make that, because it's water, kind of blend in a little bit more. Yep. Oh, I love that. I play with the colors. Okay, so anyway, we're back to this little stained glass kind of thing going on. Let me dry this. As the obsession continues. Okay, so you see what we're going on here. I also have, which this could be considered any brand. This does not have to be Neo Colors. This could be, I have the Reeves, any kind of watercolor crayon that you have. I have Reeves, I have, you can use soft pastels, you can use, you know, whatever, but this is what I have right here. And these are watercolor crayons. So let's just see what these do. Again, any watercolor crayon brand you can find. Michaels has quite a few. Like I said, they have the Reeves. They have, oh, there's another brand. I love Portfolios, which are what? Do you guys know what Portfolios are? I don't know if I know right offhand where mine are, of course, but I'll have to do a video with them. But see, these are watercolor crayons. And these work just as good. Look how fun. And you can even carry over some of the color because it is so fun. And you get my point. So that's really cool. You can do it all one color. You can do it different colors. If you have your Crayola watercolor things, you can use all the colors in there and do different things. If you feel like you want to be tedious, you know, going on about it. Otherwise, you could do it all one thing. What I would like to do, like what I think would be fun, is taking a black marker or even black paint and going into the, you know, whatever your bottom part, which this happens to be cardboard, and kind of tracing it inside so these stand out more. And you can do any color you want. You want to do, if you have a theme going, or you want to do as if it's a grout. Do you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make you watch me do all this. I just want you to kind of see where I'm going with this. Especially with all the colors. Because I think it looks cool. And you can use silver, gold, whatever color you want. These are things I love to do when I'm not feeling good, so I still feel creative. But you're making something really cool. All right, I'm going to stop now. I know. Because I get obsessed and I'm like, well, I don't want to stop till I'm done. And that wouldn't be a problem if I could edit. Which I can't. Which I'm okay with. You guys just get to see me in all my glory. Anyway, you get the point. Now see that even, look what it did to my marker. So warning, use like, if you have like an old black marker, like a Sharpie, or you know what I mean, you can buy the thin Sharpies, or Sharpies by the, I mean, at the dollar store they have store brand, you know, like dollar store names or whatever. But you see how cool that can look. That's very, very cool. This marker's almost out of ink anyway, so it's not a big deal. So that is that. So how cool is that? Now, something else very quickly. You see this. I'm going to lay this aside because that's going to become, and you see this great thing right here, this brown stuff? That's going to all be texture when I get done, when I paint my layers on it. So I guess I'll be having another giveaway. Remember, go check out my video for the one painting that's being given away, which is the girl. And then I'm going to be finishing my skull one. And that will be up for giveaway for probably the following Tuesday. And then maybe I'll have another product giveaway. So we shall see. So let me just show you. If you squirt this with some water and you kind of rub and rub and rub and rub and rub, you're going to see it will re-wet itself. It'll re-wet itself. Oh my gosh. But you can smooth it, and you can also go in and connect other pieces of the Paperclay to it. So it kind of gives it a little bit of a tact. So when you put the wet clay on it, it'll stick. But you can see so that's a very helpful thing too if you're going to build onto this, or you want to kind of just smooth it out a little bit. You can see like right here, I'm going to give it a little bit more pressure. I probably need a little bit more water, but you can see, let's see, it did smooth it out. And if I work on it another minute, it would get even better. So remember that when you are working with this, Don't get upset because you're like, oh, it dried and it shows like that little thing there. Just spray a thing of water on it and start working it. And if you need more water on it, spray it. Now, a few things I want to talk about. And I'm just going to kind of keep this here. Oh, no, I wanted to do one more thing. All right, so we have this. Something that's really fun to do is take a little bit of black. A little bit of black. Yep, A little bit of black. Just a little bloop. If the bloop would get off the blooper. And you want to wet it a lot. And I'm going to move this back a minute. Okay. I'm going to squirt tons of that on there. I want it really wet. Really. Get your brush. Make it into a soupy soup. And then paint over this. And look, can you see how, watch what happens when I put it on here. It spreads. It spreads in those delicious little crevices. So just paint on it. And you want the water because the water is going to help you get off the top part. This is going to give it an antique look, but it's going to give it a really cool. All right. Now, just give it a second. Just to kind of maybe blow on it. Do technical things like me. Blow. I don't want no snarky comments from the peanut gallery either. Blow. You want to just give it a minute or so. So while I'm doing this and leaving this have a minute, I want to talk about a few things. I got a request from a lovely lady. And I will probably be doing this tomorrow, will be my video on how to cast off when you're knitting. When you get to the end of your knitted piece, how to cast off. She requested for a video for it because she made a beautiful scarf and she only knows how to do it a certain way, and she asked me if I would show her how to cast off, and I said of course I will because I love showing you guys things. So that'll be a video tomorrow, and then if anybody, or later today, it depends, but if anybody has any requests, whether it be on knitting, do you want to learn how to knit? Do you want to learn how to, knitting is my thing more than crochet. If you want to learn how, how to cast on and how to do one stitch that can give you a beautiful scarf, to make for holiday gifts. Or if you want to know how to, if you're more advanced and want to know how to do 2x2 or, ribbing or whatever, just ask. Also, I got a comment about, I'm just going to rub this off while I'm talking. You just very lightly rub it off that's on the red because you still want it to be, some of the red wasn't all the way dry, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go over it one more time with the black because I want it to be a little bit more there. You want your black to be inky, which is great because if you do this and you have your inky thing, then you can go in with a very thin, let's see, very thin paintbrush. And if you're doing a painting or whatever and you want to write, you can just go in and write. Now, of course, that doesn't have a lot of pigment because it's being soaked into the cardboard. I didn't really gesso it. But you can go in then and use a very thin paintbrush and write. Very cool. So it never goes to waste. Or you can just make ink blot paper, where you would dip half your paper in there and then fold it. Okay, so I got a comment from a woman, and she has fibro. And, part of the reason I do this, my YouTube, is not only to teach people how to be able to do things and make things that you don't have to go out and spend a fortune doing, but I like to teach people. And as myself, having RA and fibro, amongst other things, um, my hands do not always work. I'm in pain and everything, like everybody else who has these diseases. And she asked how I even do polymer clay because she has fibro and she can't do it with her hands. And I completely understand. I had told her to take your clay that you're going to work with. I think that maybe for her, maybe using a paper clay or an air dry clay, like a Crayola Kids clay or whatever, would be the better solution. And I'm saying this to everybody who thinks that they can't work with clay, but that might be a better solution for her. I told her to take the polymer clay, put it in a plastic bag, and sit on it in the morning while you're having your coffee, watching your show in the morning, doing whatever, to warm it up really, really good, so it's more pliable. And I also suggest to use the Sculpey, because Sculpey is more of a, I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to say more of a non-professional clay, and that doesn't mean it's a bad clay, because I use Sculpey all the time. But Fimo and Primo are much harder to work with, and even with people who have no problems with their hands, it can be quite hard to work with. So I say go with the Sculpey and put it in a plastic bag, take it out of its wrapper, put it in its plastic bag, sit right on it. Put that butt cheek right on it, stick it under your arm, stick it under your boob, stick it wherever you get a lot of heat, and just sit on it for a while to make it very soft and workable. You can do it. You really can. Maybe not on those days where you're having one of those awful days that you can't, you really can't function, which we all have. But you can do it. It's not. I don't want to make it sound like if you can't do it, because I don't know your level of pain, and I don't know what you're on and what your tolerance is, and I don't want to say anything that's going to make you feel less of a person, because maybe you can't do it. I don't know. I don't know what you're dealing with personally. So I'm just saying, those are ways I do it. They can't even get my medicine straight right now from RA. It's running out of wicked control, and I'm having a heck of a lot of problems. So, I always think if there's a will, there's a way. Like I said, those are ideas that I give you to make it very soft, so it's much easier to work with. Or like I said, go into the Crayola section at your Michael's, use your coupon, and they have Crayola clay for children that is air dry, which is basically like any other air dry clay. Or on like I said, my knittingandthings.com, I have a recipe for Paperclay, where you use your paper that you get in the mail as garbage, and you make your own kind of clay. So, you can also start out with molds. And I go into obviously I bought these the other day because Halloween's here, but I also go into the baking section at Michael's and find tons of molds. And so if you can't sit and sculpt maybe a doll or something or whatever, go and pick out pretty, they have flowers, and they even have molds in the section of where the clay is. Go buy molds and use that just as something that can get your creativity going. And then if you have a day that you're okay and you feel that for a half hour you can sit and play with the clay, warm that clay up under your bum and just sit and play. I hate us giving up doing things that we want to, or doing things that we love because we're ill. I just hate it. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. It's hard. It's a struggle. But you know what? You can do it. And if you can't do clay, like I said, try the kids' clay. Try the paper clay. Try, what else do you love to do? Find something that you love to do that's a little bit easier. It's yeah, it can be hard sometimes. It really can, but it can be done. And like I said, I'm not here to say, oh, you suck because you can't. You know what? You might not be able to. I don't know your position, and I don't know the illness that you have. I do know that it's hard. I do know that some days I can't do it. I do know it takes me sometimes a half hour, 45 minutes longer than it normally would if my hands were like they used to be. I do know it's not easy. I choose to do it. But like I said, you might want to find something that's a little easier for you to either use as clay if that's what you want to do, or something that I mean, that doesn't have to do with clay. Maybe painting, maybe doing mixed media, maybe doing scrapbooking, something that's just not as strenuous on your hands. So I hope that keep your creativity and try. Just try. Try the tips I told you. I think all of us will agree that it isn't always easy and it's hard, but you just try, and you surprise yourself every time. So I'm done, spouting off. I want to show you. Now my red wasn't dry all the way, so that's why when I wiped, some of it came off. But can you see how once this is all dry, how it antiqued? Now if I would have waited for my red to dry, it would have been red in those white places, but how the black went into the creases. So all those indentations have the black, and it looks so cool in person. I wish you guys could really see it on there. And once it's dry, it's going to look really, really cool. If I would have let the red dry, we would have been in better shape. But hey, it'll still go on a piece of art that I'm going to make. So, okay, that's all. I'm done blabbing. I hope you guys have a great day. Be kind to each other, because you never know what battle somebody's fighting. I know it's hard. I know it stinks. I'm going to just blot my stuff in here. I wish I had answers for everybody. I wish I could help everybody. I wish we all lived in a commune, that we could help each other when we're having our bad days. It really does. It stinks. And I just keep on keeping on. Be kind to others, because as we fight our battles, you never know what battle they're fighting. And there's days I want to freak out on people, but you know what? You can't because it doesn't solve anything. So I hope you all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, please just ask, like always. Thank you for all the beautiful emails you guys send me. I get them daily, and I am trying to write back to everybody. I am so blessed. And if you happen to come across my channel and are interested in any of the things that I like to show, which is mixed media and how to make your own mixed media products and just general everything, drawing, whatever, please sub. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys, so very much.